A cop stopped a driver, but what he saw in the back seat left him shocked. Mason Cooper was driving home on Highway 18 after work. The road was quiet and the sun was setting. Suddenly, red and blue lights flashed in his mirror. Confused, Mason pulled over. Officer Jack walked up to the car and asked for Mason's license and registration. Mason handed them over, feeling nervous. Jack didn't say much, but kept glancing at the back seat. Jack then told Mason to open the back seat. Mason hesitated, unsure why. Slowly, he unlocked the door. Jack lifted a blanket and found a sealed package wrapped in brown paper. Jack's face changed. Without saying much, he called for backup. Soon, more officers arrived. They surrounded the car and began examining the package. Mason stood by his car, watching helplessly. He felt scared as the situation became more serious. The officers carefully unwrapped the package. What they found inside shocked everyone. Inside the package, the officers found illegal substances. Mason froze in shock, unable to believe what was happening. "I don't know how that got there," he said, his voice trembling. At first, the officers didn't believe him. Their serious looks made it clear they thought he was guilty. One of the officers handcuffed Mason, and panic surged through him. He tried to explain he had no idea how the package ended up in his car, but no one seemed to listen. The police continued their investigation, carefully inspecting the package and writing notes. More police cars arrived, their flashing lights brightening the dark roadside. Mason felt helpless as the officers discussed the situation. He overheard them saying the package was linked to a bigger criminal case. His heart sank. He couldn't understand how his ordinary drive home had turned into this nightmare. The officers kept asking Mason questions, but his story didn't change. He didn't know where the package came from. At first, his words seemed pointless, but then something shifted. Lieutenant Anna Richards, one of the senior officers, noticed things weren't adding up. The package looked untouched, and there were no signs Mason had handled it. Richards asked her team to check surveillance cameras near the area. They found footage from a gas station Mason had stopped at earlier. The video showed a person sneaking up to Mason's car and putting the package in the back seat while Mason was inside paying for fuel. Richards showed the evidence to Mason and spoke calmly. "It looks like you're telling the truth," she said. She ordered the officers to remove Mason's handcuffs. Mason let out a deep breath, feeling a mix of relief and exhaustion. The officers apologized for the mistake. They promised Mason they would investigate further to find the real person responsible. Mason, though shaken, thanked them for finally believing him. When the police cleared the scene, Mason was allowed to leave. He sat in his car for a moment, trying to calm down. His life had changed in a single evening, but he was grateful the truth came out. As he drove away, he hoped the police would catch the real criminal.